Hey guys, Kimmy Vapes here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing the Vaporesso Revenger X 220 watt kit. Let's have a vape, go down below and take a closer look. Okay, and here we have the Vaporesso Revenger X kit, which was sent to me for the purpose of this review by VProCity.com. Let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. Here's the back of the box, which has all the contents and specifications. And opening up the package, you'll just pull this tab here, in which you have a box that you open. I really like this box. The packaging is done really nicely on this Vaporesso kit. You have two sides. This side contains your USB charger and your user manuals. A really nice braided cord, USB charger and update cord. Then you have your Vaporesso warranty card, Vaporesso user manual, another Vaporesso user manual. This one I believe is in English, while this one is for other languages. No, I just got bonus 2 user manuals apparently, because they look identical. And the one thing I don't like is this folds out into one very large piece of paper, and that can get annoying, especially if you need to open it just to find one particular thing, and then you need to fold it all the way back up, and that can sometimes be a pain. And then another spec manual, which appears to be all in Chinese. Okay, so that's that side. On this side is where we have the goodies. First thing you'll note here is a little card that has all of the different coils that are available for the tank and their recommended wattages for each mode, which I really like because that's something that a lot of companies don't take into consideration with your high, normal, and soft. High is going to be firing 30% higher than what you have your wattage set for. Normal obviously fires at the set wattage, and soft is like 20 or 30% lower. Well, when you're using coils, if your coil is rated 30 to 50 watts and you've got it set at 50 watts, if you set that mode to high, you're going to end up burning your coil. So they actually include this nice little recommended chart for what wattage to be firing your coil at, and also the modes. Now getting into the main portion of the box here, we have the Vaporesso NRG tank, which does have some condensation in there. I've been using it, so I had to clean it out to do this unboxing. I always forget to do my unboxings when I first get the product, and then I have to do them after I'm ready to review them. I need to remember. Anyway, though, getting off topic here, this is the Vaporesso NRG sub-ohm tank, and the sub-ohm tank is 26.5 millimeters in diameter. Capacity on it is 5 mLs. It's made of stainless steel Pyrex glass. Of course, supports all of the GT core coils. Comes with a 0.3 ohm and a 0.15 ohm coil. The 0.15 4-core coil is rated 30 to 60 watts. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's rated 60 to 110 watts. Has a Delrin 810 wide bore drip tip. Now the Delrin drip tip on here is not goon style. It will need drip tips with the O-rings on the drip tip. It has a slide and fill design, so you'll just push where you see the arrow there and slide it out to fill. Something I found interesting is on the bottom of this tank, which of course you can see there is the 510. The bottom of the tank has a heating insulator on the base here. So that is some sort of Delrin material there. So not only does it help insulate the heat and keep the heat from dissipating to your mod, but because that's plastic, it also doesn't scrape up the top of your mod like just a regular stainless steel atomizer might. Some atomizers, the edges can be a little sharp and they can wear a pattern down on your mod. So I really like that feature on here. Taking a look at the airflow, it is dual-sided airflow. Whatever you do to one side, it will do to the other, and it does have a stopper. To open the tank to replace the coil head, you'll simply unscrew the base. And you'll see here, this is the 4-core coil head. It's 0.15 ohms, rated 50 to 110 watts. And I found really, I don't like to push this coil head any higher than 80 watts. For me personally, I noticed when I was vaping it at 85 watts, I would get really close to dry hits, so I would back it off. And I was pretty comfortable vaping this at about 75 to 80 watts. But it is quite dirty. It has started to degrade on me, and it's time to replace the coil head. So to replace the coil head, you'll just counterclockwise turn the coil head, remove it. We'll go ahead and get the replacement coil head here. Okay, and this is the, I don't know if my camera is going to focus for me. There we go. This is the 0.15 ohm coil head, which is rated 30 to 70 watts. And if you look inside, you'll see it's only a dual core. Let's go ahead and screw this into the base. And then of course we need to prime our coil head. Today I'll be using Taruto by Yummy Vapor, which is a custard pie. I'm just going to put a few drops there on the top of the cotton on the top of the coil. And then on each wicking port, I'm going to put a drop of e-liquid. Now that my coil is properly primed, I'll go ahead and put my tank back together. And now we're ready to screw it down onto the mod and fill it up. Takes quite a bit of time to fill because it holds 5 ml of e-liquid. So definitely a lot of e-liquid capacity in this tank. Okay, now it's time to take a look at the Revenger X 220 watt mod. To turn on the device, you'll simply press the fire button 5 times. Your fire button is located here on the side of the mod. If you turn over to the back, you'll see Vaporesso's branding, and it has this plastic plate. The framing of the mod is a aluminum metal. Here we turn it over. And my screen is a bit dark, so we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to get into the menu. The first thing you have to do is 3 times press the fire button to unlock the screen. Now what you won't be able to see here is there are little directional buttons. Yeah, if I let the light hit it, you can see them. See the side arrows and then that center cog wheel. That center cog wheel is how you access your menu. So we'll click the menu. Oh, it timed out. And to go into the menu, you also have to press the cog wheel 3 times. Now we can go into our menu. and we're going to go to system set. Oops. All right, so sometimes it can take a little while to get used to where those arrows are. So we're going to go to screen brightness. And we're going to make sure that's all the way up, which it is. So press the cogwheel for OK. So here in your system set, you have time set, brightness, puff counter, smart on off, screen timeout, vibrate. Yes, this mod vibrates. So I currently have the vibrate mode turned off, but you can adjust the vibrate strength from nothing all the way to high, and every time you adjust it, you'll feel the mod vibrate, and it's tactile vibration. So every time you adjust the wattage or make a menu selection, you're going to feel a slight vibration in the mod, which I just turned that off because I don't particularly find it useful. And then of course you can access the version, and you can also reset the device back to default. Exit. All right, so here on the menu at the top, you have both your battery icons, which I like that they have a battery icon for each battery in the device. You have your variable wattage, and then down here below your battery icon, it shows which mode it's in. It's currently in normal. Then you'll see a padlock, which shows that your menu is locked. Then above that, you'll see your ohms resistance, your voltage, your wattage, and all the way down at the bottom you'll see both your puff counter as well as the duration of puff. So currently I am getting a check atomizer, so I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this and see what the issue is. Okay, so apparently the new coil head that I just put in the tank must be bad because it won't register the coil. I've tried taking the coil head back out, making sure it's not installed incorrectly. I've made sure everything's tight, and for some reason it will not fire the atomizer. So I'm going to go ahead and put the old coil back in and see if it's just this coil head or if something's happened with the mod and the connection. Okay, so I installed the old coil, and right away it prompted me asking if it was a new load or old load. I selected new load, and it's reading a 0.16. So apparently the spare coil head that Vaporesso included is a faulty coil. As you saw on camera, it was brand new, just took it out of the package, and it wouldn't recognize it. It just kept saying atomizer short, so likely the wires in there, something isn't connected properly. So toss that to the side. That's a big bummer that the spare coil head, because I don't have any extra coils for it, so I'm just gonna have to vape on the old coil, I guess. Let's put some juice back in here. I have juice all over my hands because I had already filled my tank, so I had to empty my tank out and get e-liquid all over my hands. Okay, so back to the mod. We started to go into the menu screen there. Before we go back into the menu, I just want to go ahead and give you the dimensions of the mod itself. The mod is 89 millimeters tall, 45 millimeters wide, and 28 millimeters thick. Its wattage output range is 5 watts up to 220 watts. In temperature control range, it's 200 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. The minimum atomizer resistance is 0.05 ohms. It has a Omniboard 2.2 chipset. It supports temperature control in nickel, titanium, and stainless steel heating elements. It has a temperature coefficient of resistance adjustments, which is your TCR. It also supports customized curvature of temperature, which they call CCT, and customized curvature of wattage, CCW. Smart variable wattage mode, bypass mode, real-time clock setting, which I also have the real-time clock turned off, real charging time, equal charging system, and the mobile specific vibration motor. The screen is a 0.91 inch OLED display. It has 3 touch buttons here on the bottom of the screen, or actually it's more like a quarter way up from the bottom of the screen. Why is my camera not focusing? Come on, camera. Why are we not focusing? Thank you. So we have the left and right button, which is your up and down, as well as your menu system toggle. And then you have a cog right here, which of course you can't see on, there you go. Then we have that cog right there, which is your menu access. Front screen is made of a plastic. However, I haven't had any issues with scratching, but I have had lots of issues with smudges. As you can see, it does pick up fingerprints fairly easily. And then of course on the top is your centered 510 connection. Here is your USB port, and it is a dual 18650 battery. This back panel comes off. It is held on by 3 very strong magnets, and then of course we take the batteries out, and you'll see they are clearly marked for your positive up and negative down, or in this case your negative up, your positive down, and then your positive up, your negative down. Then you have some board ventilation there. So going back into the mod, 3 clicks to unlock the button adjustment down here. So 1, 2, 3. Then you can press the center cog 3 times to unlock the center here. So you got, once you've unlocked the device, you actually have to press the cog 3 times to go into the menu system. Then use your left and right arrows to toggle through. Now this menu, the screen isn't too bright here. I do have a lot of lighting in here. I can see the screen just fine. However, under this artificial light, the screen doesn't come up very well, but it does do okay inside. Outdoors, it can be a bit difficult to see. So going down, as I said earlier, you have each of the settings. You have your variable wattage, which you have the choice of high, normal, or soft. Your CCW, which is your customized curvature in wattage. Your VTSS, VTNI, VT titanium, which this is temperature control, TCR, and you have the option for 2 custom TCRs, bypass mode, and then of course into the system settings, which I already showed you, and exit. So that is an up and close look of the Vaporesso Revenger X 220 watt kit. Let's go back up top and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. Alright, so that was an up and close look of the Vaporesso Revenger X 220 watt kit. So what are my thoughts? Well, as you saw down in the up close portion, I had a bit of a trouble with the tank. So everything was going good with the tank as far as the first coil that came pre-installed in it. I was using that. The coil head, I've been using this for about a week and a half, and the coil head just yesterday, the coil head really started to fizz out on me. It's not performing well anymore. I feel like it's not vaping as well. It's the cotton's starting to break down. It gets gurgly, and it's just not a pleasant vape anymore. So today, in my up and close portion of the review, I decided, well, I'll go ahead and take this opportunity to install the other 2 2-core coil that came with it, and we can go ahead and go over the coils and things like that. Well, when I installed the 2-core coil, it wouldn't recognize the atomizer on the mod. It kept saying check atomizer. So of course I went through some troubleshooting off camera, and I was never able to get that coil head to work, so I had to install the old coil head back into the tank to be able to fire it. Now the old coil head is giving me no trouble. It's still firing. The problem is though, that old coil head has started to burn out. It's gunked up, it's not wicking as well, it's gurgly, it's just not as enjoyable of a vape. But when that 4-core coil head was brand new, the vape was wonderful. It was very flavorful, lots of cloud production. However, I will say this airflow is a bit deceiving because there's a lot of airflow space there. But because it's a 4-core coil head, there's a lot of cotton in there, and the coils are smaller in diameter, which means the airflow is restricted through those coils. So I actually find this to be a restricted direct lung hit with these particular coils installed. And that's why I was really looking forward to using the 2-core, because the coils were a larger diameter, and I wanted to see how that would change the airflow. Unfortunately, I'm not able to speak on that, so I'm just going to say that this tank is a restrictive direct lung airflow when it's wide open. And of course, as you tighten it down, it gets more restricted. And the recommended wattage they have on here, I feel, is a bit high, the 110 watts. I could not see myself running these coil heads at 110 watts. At 85 watts, I felt like that was pushing the coil head, and that was as far as I wanted to take it. Now, I am a person who vapes on the cooler side, so for you guys, going above 85 watts might still be enjoyable. Now, going on to the mod, I really can't say anything negative about this mod. It performs well. It fires instantly. No problems with delays or anything like that. All of the functionalities on the mod work good. I will say I did go ahead and shut the vibration mode off, and I shut the real-time clock off because the real-time clock stays on for quite some time, and I couldn't find anywhere in the menu system where I could shorten the length of time that the real-time clock stays on after you set the mod down. So I didn't like that the real-time clock stayed on for several minutes after I sat the mod down, because I felt like it was draining my batteries quicker. So I went ahead, shut the real-time clock off because I don't really need that, and I shut the vibration off, and now my batteries are lasting what I would expect my batteries to in any dual 18650 mod. I like the hand feel of the device. It has some weight to it, but it's not overly heavy. I definitely have heavier mods. The button is nice and clicky and responsive. I like that the button also has a slight curve to it, so it is protruding, so it's easy to find on the mod. Since the mod is symmetrical on both sides, you don't have to worry about not being able to find that button. It does stick out, and it has a nice curve to it, so it's very easy to find and very comfortable to fire. So overall, I think this kit is a wonderful kit. The cheapest I found it is actually on VPro City for $59.99. It ranges anywhere from the lowest that I've seen it being the $59.99 up to $70 for both the tank and the mod. I don't know about the tank as far as recommending the tank, just because my experience with that coil head. I think the tank itself performs beautifully. I love a lot of the features that they included on the tank, like the heat dissipation Delrin on the bottom, which also works not to scratch up your mod. I think that's great. I just don't know that I'm very sure of those coils, being that out of 2 coils, 1 was already a dud. So if you get a 5-pack, how many coils are going to be a dud, and how much money are you going to waste on those faulty coils? So I'm going to leave it up to you guys on that, and whether or not you want to take the risk with the Vaporesso coil heads. But I will say the tank is very enjoyable, and I definitely like the mod. One more note is that touchscreen there It does take some getting used to because the symbols are not a different color necessarily. It's more of like a different shade on the screen, so they can be difficult to see, and until you get used to exactly where they are on the screen, it can be difficult to hit the button and make sure. Sometimes you'll be a little off and it won't register, so that's another thing to keep in mind. So that's my thoughts and opinions on the Vaporesso Revenger X kit. Let me know what you think down in the comments about it. And as always, you guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, please make sure to hit the bell icon so you get notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.